I use 6 mindset tricks to get more in shape than 99.9% of people. See, you can have all of the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have the belief in yourself and you don't have the right perspective, none of that effort is actually gonna get applied. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 6 belief and perspective shifts that kept me consistent in the gym for the last 6 years. And I guarantee you, after watching this video, you're gonna have a few extra tools in your belt to actually make this shit happen. Now, before we get into the first perspective shift, here's how I recommend you use this video. Changing your mindset and your beliefs is very difficult, and it does not happen overnight, no matter how hard you try to. So I would focus on one of the points from this video that you want to work on and try to drill that into your head. Then I would also save this video for later so you can keep coming back to it so you can learn the other ones over time. This is one of those videos you might want to rewatch, 4, 5, 6 times. I'm not just saying that to farm views. I'm looking out for you. All right, now let's get into it. Now, I don't want to get too hippie on you, but one of the best ways to dramatically improve your life is to just start taking life a little less seriously. Loosen up, have a little bit of fun. That's why I got these dog toys on my set with me to like spice up the vibe a little bit. And I know that's easier said than done, but here's the thing, man. Everything can become a habit, actions and thought patterns. And if you're in the habit of acting like every decision you make is either life or death, then you're gonna stay stuck forever because of fear. I remember being on this one vacation in Florida. I was sitting on the beach, kind of reflecting on my life, and I was thinking about all the mistakes I made, all the failures I made, every time I missed an opportunity. But then it just hit me, bro. Like, I was like, I'm just a bunch of cells waddling around on some floating rock. Like, why does it even matter? But seriously, why does it matter? You're here and then you're not. But I don't even mean that in a depressing way. I find it to be very freeing. Kind of removes the shackles of self-doubt and self-judgment a little bit. Life is finite, but that's kind of the cheat code. It means you can just try stuff, do stuff, see what you're capable of, and enjoy that process. Even when I fall off or mess up today, I remind myself, life is just life. Chill the fuck out. Now, you might be thinking, Eli, that's all fine and well, but I still don't have a passion for the gym. I still don't have that drive taking me into the gym to work out. And that's fine. But let me put it to you like this. I'm not passionate about chess. I've never played chess. I probably suck at chess. If you put a chessboard in front of me, I wouldn't know what the hell to do with it. And I sure as hell have never woken up like, whoop-de-doo, can't wait to grab my board in pieces and head to the park. It's not me. But I can bet you my entire bank account that if I found some friends to play chess with, I started playing against other people, and I could see myself getting better at chess, I would become obsessed with chess. Getting better daily, learning new skills and new patterns, probably watching 6 hours of YouTube videos about chess. But where am I going with this stupid ass chess analogy? Passion is built. It's not naturally occurring. You can strategically get yourself to be obsessed with the gym. I made an entire video about this, which I'll link above. Really cool stuff. But look, chances are any activity in your life that you're passionate about, you're probably passionate about it because you're good at it. If you have friends who also do it, you're somewhat competitive with it, and you get recognized for your hard work and skill. Before I started lifting, I didn't give a shit about lifting. And now I literally am kind of weirdly, disturbingly obsessed with it, to the point where it's more or less my whole personality. But before I beat this point into the ground, this is all you really need to know. The second you see your first results and you see that skill building in anything, you're gonna get more into it. And eventually, as you keep getting better, you're gonna get hooked. So don't hold yourself back from starting the gym because you're not passionate yet. It'd be weird if you were. Focus your energy on creating that passion, because it only takes a few weeks or a month. But during this process, it's still so easy to get flustered when you make mistakes or screw something up. Failure is nothing but data points, and it's also okay to make the same mistake twice. People don't miss out on getting in shape because of failures. It's because of how they react to failure. Here's an example from my life. I used to love playing this game called Cuphead. And if you're not familiar with Cuphead, it's a very difficult 2D game where you have to beat various bosses. But basically, each of these bosses that you have to beat have very unique attack methods that you have to figure out over time and destroy them. Like, some of them throw stuff at you, some of them raise stuff out of the ground, or just wipe the whole screen with some bullshit. And I did end up beating this game, but I probably died like 600 times in that process. But each time I died, I learned something new. I picked up on an attack pattern a little more. I figured out the mistakes that I was making that was leading me to not win. But that was the key. The second I would fail, I would try again right after and right after and right after, like very persistent, not ever stopping. But imagine if I had died to the first boss once and then I was just like, damn, I suck at this. Maybe I'll try again next week. I would never be able to build the skill and quickly learn from my mistakes. But that's what most people do with the gym, and they don't see how stupid and harmful that mindset is. They think if they make one mistake, they've ruined everything. One bad meal that exceeded their calorie limit, one day where they missed a workout, one night where they stayed up too late and drank a bunch of beer. But these failures are not indicators that you should just give up. They're indicators that you should immediately troubleshoot and try again. That's all it is. It's data. Data, 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 data. When you make a mistake, try to figure out why. If you consume a bunch of junk food at night, try to figure out why you did it. Was it because the junk food was easy access? Was it because you were stressed about something? Figure it out and try to make the situation different tomorrow. And sometimes it's okay to make the same mistake more than once. Some things are harder to learn than others. It took me multiple years to start going to bed earlier because I just couldn't learn my lesson that having my phone in my bed was not helping me go to bed earlier. Some things you just have to fail at a bunch of times to figure it out. And eventually you will figure it out and get in amazing shape, but only if you try again immediately after failing. You gotta have a thick skin, man. Be persistent, fail forward, and fail quickly. But even with these three highly valuable perspectives in mind, it's still so easy to get overwhelmed with all this stuff when you think about how long it's gonna take to see the progress you wanna make. Trying to take in the fact that you have to be consistent for days, weeks, months, years to get where you wanna be. That is very scary. And it's also very understandably scary. And I used to get in my head about this stuff all the time. Like, I know what I need to do, but the fact that I have to do it forever, that's horrifying. Like, what if I screw that up? Like, what if I fall off? But one day I had a conversation with my dad and I learned a very important lesson. He told me he'd been clean and sober for over 23 years, which is very hard to do, and I look up to him highly for that. But I wondered to myself, how did he actually stick with something that challenging for that long? So I asked him, Dad, how did you stay away from that shit for so long? And he told me because he didn't focus on staying clean for 23 years. He focused on staying clean today. And he just did that for 23 years. Take everything one day at a time. It is so easy to get in your head about the timeline it takes to make a positive change in your life. But when you just focus on what's right in front of you, it makes everything so much easier. It makes your brain so much more clear. It makes the action you need to take 10 times more certain too. This was one of the most helpful things I ever learned that led to me getting in great shape. Who cares that I have to eat healthy every day and work out 5 days a week and do my cardio for 4 years to get my dream physique? What do I have to do today to make sure that happens? This is arguably the easiest way to get rid of that suffocating, overwhelming feeling, and I highly recommend trying it. And once I started taking everything day by day, it got so much easier for me to stay in great shape. But there was still one problem. I was still afraid it wouldn't work. Like, what do I do if I change all these habits, push myself, try to make all these changes in my life, and I don't improve at all? Or far worse, I get worse. That fear alone kept me from starting for way too goddamn long. But that's not just me. So many people avoid ever getting in great shape because they're so scared of putting in all this time for something that might not work, which causes them to develop a very dangerous perspective and worldview, living in defense mode. But what is defense mode? It's a mindset that makes you constantly live in fear of the worst possible case scenario. For example, someone might put off losing 50 pounds because he doesn't have type 2 diabetes yet. He doesn't have heart problems yet. He can still somewhat move around and live his daily life. But he completely procrastinates getting in the shape he wants to be in because in his mind, all he's trying to do is avoid the worst possible thing. And since he's not at that worst possible thing yet, endlessly procrastinating, endlessly pushing it till next month, endlessly pushing it till next year. You need to turn on your offense mode. Once you adopt the mindset of offense mode, your entire worldview changes on the progress that you could make. This is the exact mindset that caused me to stick with the gym for 6+ years and caused my clients to get the amazing results and transformations that they did. So what is offense mode? It's the concept of thinking only in terms of the best case scenario. Like, what's the craziest outcome you could achieve? How shredded could you get? How confident could you get? How disciplined could you get? What could you make of yourself that would be almost unbelievable? But not the urgency of avoiding something horrible, the urgency of trying to see what amazing things you could do do in this limited lifetime of yours. A simple way to adopt this perspective shift is by literally saying to yourself, screw what I'm avoiding. What could I achieve if I just do what I need to do today, forever? Again, it doesn't happen overnight, but through practice and repetition of telling yourself these things, you're gonna generate endless momentum. And once I started adopting these perspectives, something really interesting happened. I actually started enjoying the process of lifting weights and bettering myself physically. And that brings us to our sixth and final mental shift. You can make this shit very fun. But how? Lifting is so hard, it's so this, it's so that. You can make anything fun, not only by building the passion like we talked about earlier, but the fact that there's no actual cookie cutter way to get in great shape. Think of it like this. Some people love going to the gym and blasting death metal and eating like sweet potatoes and rice. That's somebody's favorite thing to do. Somebody might just like doing yoga and listening to ocean sounds and going for long walks in nature. Somebody might like doing like Stairmaster with no headphones on. Fucking psychos, right? And guess what? All of them win in their own way because they made that process more enjoyable for themselves. They customized it to them. But most people treat the gym like a chore. They treat it like it has to be some cookie cutter approach, something that they have to do. It's like they parent themselves to go to the gym and wonder why they hate it so much. I can't name one thing I've ever naturally wanted to do by just beating myself into submission over it. And that brings us to the end of today's video. But before you click off, check out this next video on how to build fitness into your actual life. I go into detail about how to edit your schedule so you can actually make time for all the things you're trying to make time for, no matter how busy you are. And this approach has worked with some of my clients who are working 60 to 80 hour weeks. I know, it's insane. And if you combine the perspective shifts we talked about today with a schedule that actually allows you to get in shape in a customized and enjoyable manner, there is literally going to be nothing holding you back. And there is zero reason on this big green planet why you wouldn't win. Get after it.